Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Naruto Next Generation discussion. Today, I want to bring to your attention a Boruto fan theory submitted to me over on the Naruto Explain Patreon that I thought would make for a really good conversation with you guys, which is my patron has a theory on how overpowered Boruto's truly about to become coming out of the Boruto time skip, and they bring up a very interesting bit of information that I hadn't truly considered going into the time skip, but given the nature of Shinjutsu, I do believe this has some merit to it, and Jesus, if this pans out to be true, there are going to be people who are screaming Boruto breaks the power scaling in the Naruto universe. So according to my patron, they say they wonder about the possibility of Boruto coming out the time skip being able to either replicate Kekkei genkai or recreate Kekkei genkai. The reason for this is that we were told in Boruto's manga that all ninjutsu were inferior replications of Shinjutsu. We were also told that Momoshiki has knowledge of all Shinjutsu and has already modified and created techniques in the past. My patron then takes a step further and says that Boruto's currently training under Sasuke, who has already imitated Ice Release. The reason I think this holds some merit for discussion is exactly what he brought up, and I'll start with the Sasuke stuff first. In Boruto's anime adaptation of Sasuke Reston and the manga adaptation of Sasuke Reston, we see that Sasuke has begun coming close to mimicking Ice Release, with Sasuke referring to it in the anime as a super cooling mist, whereas the original source material where this concept debuted refers to it as an Ice Release imitation. So good, the people who've seen Ice Release can't spot the difference. Sasuke, while training his Rinnegan, was able to grasp the insane chakra control needed to simultaneously use wind and water release to mimic Ice Release. So strong, as we saw in the anime, he could freeze wounds, and Sasuke and the Sasuke Shinen teach a star pupil in the story, he was not only able to freeze entire flames and freeze a whole train car, but also freeze a chunk of the ocean to save Boruto during a training mission. This leads us to the idea of Boruto learning to do something like this, and it should be on the table, given that Boruto is Otsutsuki now, and he happens to just be training with the one person who will absolutely pull out the best out of Boruto by pushing him in ways that Boruto hasn't been pushed before, especially due to the effects of the Shinjutsu, where Sasuke has to actively suppress what the Shinjutsu has him believing, which is that Boruto isn't Naruto's son. So that's another level of detachment that Sasuke has that can actually work to Boruto's favor, which means his Shinjutsu arsenal is going to be rivaled by nothing except for the number of skills you can learn on Skillshare, the sponsor of today's video. This video is going to be brought to you by Skillshare. Just as Sharingan users are always upgrading themselves by copying ninjutsu with their Sharingan, you should be doing the same using Skillshare, because in 2023, traditional work and jobs aren't one size fit all, and Skillshare allows you a chance to learn new skills that can help you take a hobby and turn it into a profitable side hustle and help you learn how to design a career that fits you. No goal is too small, and with Skillshare, what might seem like a mountain to you today will feel like a molehill once you start using Skillshare. Thinking about the future can be intimidating, but Skillshare helps take the pressure off by starting small and giving you the tools to start taking that first crucial step towards your goal. For me personally, the classes on Diversify Your Income and Earn Passive Income tool stood out to me because it's something that I'm currently trying to do, but I know I'm not foolish enough to think I know it all, especially when it comes to trying to build my own website, which is something I want to have up and running by the end of this year. So for me, I'm going to be taking Mimi Chow's courses because that's something that adds real value to my goals that I want to accomplish. The same with the class on creative confidence and silencing your inner critic. That's a huge problem for me because I am literally my worst critic. But not only that, Skillshare offers a ton of different classes that you can take, from photography to graphic design, music, and cooking, with the cooking class that I recommend being Alana Karp's knife skills, a mini class to chop like a chef. Skillshare offers you the opportunity to level up faster than Boruto characters do during the time skip. I cannot stress this enough. Even if you're not looking at this from a creative perspective like I am, if you're somebody that wants to gain new skills to help you in your current employment, Skillshare has hundreds of career-focused classes that will be of huge benefit to you. And just to get personal with you guys, at my last employment when I was running social media, they required me to learn how to use After Effects and Adobe Photoshop. I took those classes here over on Skillshare. The first 1,000 people who use my link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. This is hands down one deal you do not want to miss. Thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Now, obviously, this would be something of a game changer should this end up being the case, because what it does is allow for Boruto to pay out the line we were told by Amato, which is that all ninjutsu are a mere cheap imitation of the Shinjutsu Otsutsuki can use. That rightfully pissed off Sarada because of the pride that she has as a shinobi and the shinobi arts, but it does open up the door for the scale of the battles to reach insane levels for Boruto Part 2 because of the foreshadowing pattern that was there for both Boruto and Kawaki to start using flight and other Otsutsuki powers soon after Momoshiki revealing that he had the knowledge of all things Shinjutsu related. This would mean that some of the powers that Kodachi wrote for Momoshiki in the official Boruto novels, which, as a reminder, Kodachi being the man who was in charge of writing the story for the first 53 chapters of Boruto's manga and the lead writer for Boruto's anime for 3 years. This opens up the door for stuff like Momoshiki literally using absolute zero temperatures of ice and Boruto actually learning how to do that, which that will be something colder than anything we've seen ice release users like Haku do in the story. At the end of the day, Kekkei Genkai are mixing two chakra natures together, and the biggest obstacle to using them has always been that you need to have the Kekkei Genkai of that clan in order to use the actual Kekkei Genkai itself. However, Boruto's story just gave us our first realistic path around this, but it also keeps it exclusive. Sasuke was only able to mimic and come close to recreating Kekkei Genkai, but that was something that he was able to do because the Rinnegan is stated in the databooks to provide a shortcut to mastering all 5 changes in chakra nature and understanding the complexities of chakra, which explains why Konohamaru, someone who in the Boruto manga Borokara files is literally told to us is regarded by Naruto and Shikamaru as being a genius talent. Even Konohamaru struggled to grasp the complexities of how it was possible for Sasuke to get this close to mimicking the ice release jutsu he used. Sarada with a 3-tomo Sharingan, which the Sharingan Aya Insight does more than precognition for predicting movements, but it also comes with the ability to break down jutsu down to the chakra nature used when the user becomes skilled enough, but Sarada wasn't able to grasp the steps that Sasuke told us, which means that this might have been something unique to Sasuke because he had the Rinnegan for 16 years and basically went, if Kaguya can do all this crazy stuff that she did by using the Rinnegan, why can't I recreate some of the stuff I've seen? Boruto being Otsutsuki gives us our hard workaround to being able to use jutsu such as that. By going this route, it doesn't disrespect the Naruto lore because it literally says that this is only something possible by people who are literally of the genetic makeup of the race responsible for humans having chakra in the first place. Without Otsutsuki, there would be no Kekkei Genkai, and it explains why there are literally close to 100 Kekkei Genkai in the Naruto world. It all goes back to the Otsutsuki clan. I think so long as we don't see Boruto spamming every type of Kekkei Genkai in the universe we know, it should not be a pattern. If anything, Boruto is most likely to take a page out of the Otsutsuki who we've seen in the past, like say Isshiki, who literally focused on a few Shinjutsu in particular and became an extreme master of those Shinjutsu. It's no different than the reason we were told shinobi don't learn all 5 changes in chakra nature. Part of it being the aspect of time, unless you're an exception to the rule like Sasuke, who literally learned lightning release in the span of a few days of training according to the Naruto manga, which is another reason why Naruto telling Sasuke Boruto reminds me a lot of you, because Boruto's shown mastering wind release in the anime with only a short period of time for training, but then again, we'll still have some fans who are blinded by nostalgia who continue to prove the meme of Dragon Ball fans don't read their own series is starting to be applied to Boruto haters, with them not knowing the lore of Naruto but being the first ones to scream out how dare you when Boruto adds a change in chakra nature quickly, acting like this was something that is the first time we ever saw it. But that boy Sasuke was stated to have learned lightning release in only a few days of training, but hey, who am I? However, I digress. Outside of the exceptions to the rule like Boruto and Sasuke, most people require years of training to pick up a chakra nature, and not only pick them up but feel confident enough in their mastery of them to use them in battle. Most shinobi see the trade-off of spending years of their life to master an additional chakra nature as being pointless, which is why in most cases they stick to only mastering their main chakra nature they have a natural affinity for, and the second chakra nature required in most cases to become a jonin and nothing more. It's basically saying I'd rather be a master at 1 or 2 good things versus being okay at a bunch of different things. Isshiki picked the Daikokuden and the Sukuna Hikona and trained those up to extreme levels in the process, which made him super broken, and unfortunately for Naruto and Sasuke, it made him the perfect counter to their abilities as shinobi, especially when he was controlling Jigen's body and able to simultaneously use karma, something he was also a master of. Any chakra-based jutsu they get shrunk down by the Jojutsu, or it gets absorbed by the karma, or it gets stored away in the Daikokuden dimension to be used to attack someone else at another time, regardless as to if it's natural chakra, regardless as to if it's a naturally existing property like the flames that Kashin Koji used to kill Jigen. Isshiki stored them and then used them against Naruto. Summoning speed of items from the Daikokuden dimension is so fast that even Sasuke's Rinnegan couldn't track it, and Naruto needed the ample barrier mode in order to do so. Sukuna Hikona, on the other hand, when combined with Otsutsuki's ability to master the chakra, makes Isshiki someone who can hide even from the advanced sensory abilities of 6-path Sage mode, and even Ada's busted Senrigan cannot track Isshiki, Jigen, or Kawaki when they use Sukuna Hikona, because it's beyond her dojutsu's ocular capabilities. The only reason Sasuke was able to spot Jigen when he shrank down is because Sharingan sees chakra as a color, and even when the chakra signature is being suppressed, the chakra is still physically inside their body, which means the Sharingan can see it like a color. Hence, Jigen went, yeah, Sasuke, I'm killing you first. Boruto taking that approach by mastering karma and gaining Momoshiki's extensive knowledge of all Shinjutsu that exists and picking one or two to learn and master, it would make him a lot deadlier in battle. Momoshiki wasn't some god who could just spam all this stuff in battle. He was actually quite limited when you read the novels themselves. The only reason he was able to use Absolute Zero Ice is because it wasn't a battle setting in particular, because he can't apply those Shinjutsu in battle. Momoshiki merely said he had knowledge of all Shinjutsu. He didn't say he had mastery. That Absolute Zero Shinjutsu allowed him to destroy all life around him because he got annoyed by the taste of the chakra fruit he was eating, which led to him freezing the star of a solar system in a bratty tirade and killing all life in that solar system. If Boruto picks one or two things to master and adds it to his arsenal, that's going to make Boruto an absolute monster, and it's going to have Boruto surpass Momoshiki because Momoshiki can't use stuff like that Absolute Zero Ice in a battle setting. But if Boruto can find a way to actually use it to a degree for a battle usage and basically learn the Shinjutsu equivalent to Ice Release and take it to that extreme to do what Momoshiki couldn't do, to find a way to use it in chakra, the same way that Momoshiki took Boruto's compression Rasengan and was brilliant enough to go, instead of slamming this thing into people and damaging myself, why don't I compress it and use extreme chakra control to shoot it like a projectile, eliminating the possibility of me damaging my vessel. It's time for Boruto to take some of the Shinjutsu knowledge that Momoshiki has and some of the abilities we know that Momoshiki has now that are classified as Shinjutsu and apply them in more creative ways. For instance, that jutsu that he used to casually break out of Sasuke's Shibaku Tensei, that should be improved upon, potentially using a Rasengan with it. Same with the golem that he creates in the peasant fire release bird that he creates. Boruto has some methods available to him because genetically he's not only Otsutsuki, but he's got what Kakashi referred to in the Boruto anime as having a dangerous combination, the most dangerous he's seen, which is the generational genius talent of the 4th Hokage Minato and the unpredictable nature of the 7th Hokage Naruto Uzumaki. I think it's safe to say Kakashi's statement, should Boruto learn Shinjutsu, is about to be proven correct. That being said, I'm curious to know you guys' thoughts on this. Why you think that over? Click here to watch these other Naruto Explained videos you see on the screen right now.